So, right, yes. Tuesday. Tuesday seems to be a day for podcasting. So we're back on a Tuesday again, back in the car. Just sitting here in the car, minding my own business. Watching all the people getting ready for running. They've been doing some weird lumbering exercises, I think is the term. So they've all been stretching out, wobbling their legs around. As you do when you do running. It needs to be like we all balance on one leg, wobble, wobble, wobble. Stretch, stretch, stretch. They're obviously waiting for more people to arrive. The slower ones to get into their spandex. Is that the... I never really understood spandex, to be honest. I never really understood anything in the great scheme of things. It seems I'm failing dismally at life again, as always. I had arguments with children. Had to deal with children. My children, obviously, but still annoying. And then I had to deal with other things. It's just generally sad. It's generally sad. Someone had a birthday the other day. That made me sad because it was a reminder of some timelines. So it was a bit bobbins. And then I just feel a bit bobbins, really. I feel like a robot at the moment, doing what I need to do and just getting on with everything. Maybe that's middle age for you. Maybe I'm just having a middle age crisis. Probably having a middle age crisis. Probably been going in that crisis since I was 17. But you just don't know, do you? You just don't know. So yeah. So I'm just trying to get on. Trying to move through life without feeling more upset than I actually am. But it doesn't kind of work. Tuesday at work. So lots of cheeses, which was a thing. Cheesy Tuesday was a thing apparently. So that was interesting. So yeah, but this isn't really a blog, is it? We are not diaritized. We're not lexicographer. It's a big word. I don't know, but I think you know what I'm getting at. There's a special word for people who write in diaries. Samuel Pepys was one, apparently. There's a bit of information for you. But anyway, right, we need to get on, don't we? Right, what we need is a book, because how many minutes are we? Let's have a look at recording. We are now, 2.5 minutes. Really, we're normally 5 minutes in, but there's nothing going on in my life, so I can't really... Because I went pumpkin picking. Now, there's a thing. I blame the Americans for pumpkin picking. Americans, I blame you. I know you listen. Well, does anyone? I don't know you listen. According to Spotify, then people in America have listened. But actually, I don't know if anyone listens. More than 30 seconds anyway. People just come and go. Which made me think maybe I should do a video version of this. In case people might want to stay a bit longer to watch the pain in my eyes as I read. But no, it's hard to explain. Definitely hard to explain. But yeah, pumpkin picking was just a cash cow, isn't it? They charged you to get in, they charged you to have food. And actually, not one pumpkin pie. Not one pumpkin pie. It was all just, no. It was just food, just burgers, chicken, but where were the pumpkin pies? No pumpkin, or maybe they did a pumpkin latte. But no pumpkin food that I'm aware of. And then you go in a field to pick your pumpkin, and then you get charged for the pumpkin. So you're just paying for everything at any point, which is quite upsetting. Anyway, right, we need to get on with the book, don't we? Oh, messages. Quickly have a look. Right, what are we up to? Right, we need to open Kindle app. There we go. Right, reading glasses on. So change glasses. Reading glasses. There we go. Reading glasses on today. I remembered them for once. Let's get on with this crazy thing. His lips quirk like I've made a joke. But quirk, how do you quirk lips? Because quirk is a thing, isn't it? Like you have a quirk. Already I'm annoyed. First sentence in. First of all, it started on a new chapter. We started a new chapter, and there doesn't need to be a new chapter because it's just carrying on from the previous sentence. So that annoys me in itself. And his lips quirk. A quirk is something you have. And yet, so his lips quirk. Quirk is not a thing in that way, is it? Eventually, he admits. Though talking is often one of the less enjoyable pastimes at these events, comparatively speaking. I wet my lips. Not if it's done well. Yeah, that's real foreplay. Which pastime? He asked, amusement. Oh, sorry, he asked, amusement and undercurrent in the rich baritone of his voice. Ooh, he's a rich baritone. Oh, let's talk about this, okay. Baritone. There we go. Doing things well is one of my favourite hobbies. Well, everyone likes to do things well, matey. Anyway, being modest is not, I'm guessing. He turns and I have to look up to meet his dark gaze. Modesty is forbidden at the Gilded Room. Is that in the rule book, I ask? I think I missed that point. His lips curve into a crooked smile, with a quirk. I don't think you've read the rule book at all, considering it's your first time here. What makes you think that? You asked me if I was planning to introduce myself. And that gave me away? His smile widens. Like a crocodile. There are only two ironclad rules at these parties. The first is complete anonymity. The second, women initiate. Men can't speak unless spoken to. Oh, women wield all the power, right? Groaning, I lean back against the wall. I gave myself away that easy, did I? Not yet, you haven't, he says, amusement glittering in his eyes. What are your thoughts so far? Of the Gilded Room? He inclines his head in a yes. No, he's got a crick. He's got a crick in his neck. This is boring. Let's read on. I look out over mingling guests. Mingling guests? People are shifting into separate corridors and rooms, and on stage one of the women is now... Oh, wow. She's going down on the man tied to the chair. His head is thrown back in pleasure as hers moves in a practice rhythm. Oh, specialist art. Oh, she's going down on the man. Oh, fair enough. That's like the most, very matter of fact. I had no idea what to expect when I came here tonight. Didn't know how to controlled the hedonism would be. I tear my eyes. I tear my eyes away from a choreographed performance. Oh, so it's choreographed, not just. So hold on. How is it choreographed? If she's giving head, presumably. What she's right, dear. It's going to be 3 bobs of a head. Then you lean back. Then it's going to be another 5 bobs. And then you've got to groan, oh boy. And then, after 7 bobs, maybe have a little spasm. But you're not allowed... But just think of dear mummy, you're acting, boy. You're acting. I've also come to the sad realisation... Oh, my phone's locked. Sad realisation. But I probably think I'm more open-minded than I actually am. He raises an eyebrow. Just for one eyebrow. Is it his or is it someone else's eyebrow? Does he wander up? Does someone else who just lifts their eyebrow ever so slightly? Raises an eyebrow. Faint cow's feet fanning out. Oh, sorry, faint cows. Got cow's feet. Faint crow's feet fanning out around his eyes. Okay, maybe he's got some weird mask on. 30 perhaps, or 35. No more than a decade older than me. Not used to seeing other people have sex. Not in person, I admit, but I've watched a lot of porn. He smiles at my words. There are no musts here. You could spend your first time just admiring the scenery, enjoying a few drinks, making conversation. My expression of dismay must have been clear, because he raises an eyebrow. That doesn't interest you? Whose eyebrow is he raising? Is he just running around, just raising people's eyebrows? Just like running. We need to do this on video so you can see me. I've got my finger, your pointing finger. Is it ideal for raising people's eyebrows? Just like a little flick of a finger. What's it, fingers? Hey. Yes. Well, I don't think I like the idea of being a voyeur. It seems intrusive somehow. He turns his face, but I catch the smile. Most people here enjoy being watched. A closed door means off limits, but open ones mean anyone is free to watch or join. Another one of the rules I don't know, I say, taking a sip of my champagne. Now that I'm here, now I'm talking to this man, I'm not nervous anymore. It's like an out-of-body experience. And the Frederica Bilson, who should be nervous, doesn't even know she's here. I left her out in the corridor. Frederica Bilson, that's a name, isn't it? There aren't many rules. Enlighten me, I ask. I hate to embarrass myself further. He smiles, a slow and wide thing that makes my stomach tighten. Why? The dim lighting casts shadows over his face. Would be my pleasure, he says. You already know the first one, and the most important one. Women initiate the conversation. Yes, as well as sex, he says. Men can suggest it, if they've been spoken to, but it's considered more proper for a woman to speak the words. I swallow against the dryness in my throat. The gilded room is big on consent, then. It is, not to mention security. You won't see them, but there are guards stationed throughout the party. There are. Slowly, giving me time to react, he reaches over and puts his hand on my shoulders. They're warm and steady as he turns me towards the opposite corner. The man in the back mask, wearing a leather loincloth. That's security. Yes, see the earpiece. I narrow my eyes. His hands are still on me. Hot through the thin fabric of my dress. No, he's too far away. Well, it's there, and you should get your eyesight checked. Hey, that's not nice. He chuckles in a... His chuckle is hoarse as he turns me down towards the bar. Oh, sorry, turns me towards the bar. Okay. That's, is she saying he chuckle is hoarse, as in he sounds like a horse or a donkey when he laughs? Not ideal. His hand slips off my shoulder. Oh no, sorry. He turns me towards the bar. One of the men sitting down nursing a scotch. He's wearing a suit. We drink on the job. His hand slid from my shoulders. It's lightly apple juice. No one here wants to feel guarded, so they blend in. All part of the illusion. The illusion. We all just happen to be here tonight. That this is a real party. And that we're not vetted and screened. There's truth to that, I suppose. Security guards in uniform would ruin the mood. So they step in if anyone gets too rowdy. Yes, but that rarely happens. Few pay to get in here only to tempt a lifetime ban. He lifts his crystal tumbler and drinks, the long column of his throat moving. Right. That makes no sense at all. He lifts his crystal tumbler and drinks. Okay, so he's having a drink. The long column of his throat moving. What the fuck is he, a giraffe? Is this guy half giraffe? You're not wearing a mask. Wasn't that one of the rules? He shoots me a look. Some rules can be broken. Well, we know that because earlier on, there was an anchor woman, wasn't there? with no... We need to... Look, this wouldn't be happening in Trevor's world. You know what I mean? By the right people. He lifts the shoulder in an elegant shrug, not denying it, not confirming it. A suspicion grows in my mind, and I narrow my eyes at him. You're not the owner of the Gilded Room, are you? The operator? Christ, no. You know a lot about how it works. It's not my first party, he counters. A second later, and I feel the warmth of his hands on my arm. Care to sit down? He nods to an empty couch nearby, further concealed in shadows. A pounding of nerves explode beneath my breastbone. Right. His hands fall away. Women have all the power, he reminds me. You save the world and I'll leave you alone for the rest of the night. What's a word? Go away usually works, but that's 2 words. I laugh. Ha, ha, ha. I'll stick with that then, though it's not very polite. You can add please to it if you like. No, fuck off. How kind of you. We sink down on the couch, the leather cold under my legs. I cross them and clasp the champagne next to my chest like a weapon. So you're a regular. Right, how is champagne... What, you're going to spray it in his face, maybe with the sparkles or sting his eyes? I suppose you could call me that. He drapes his arm along the back of the couch. So he's taken off his arm and he's just draped it along the back of the couch. Not attached to anything, just there, just lying on the back of the couch. Just his disembodied arm, hand resting somewhere behind my head. So she doesn't even know where the end bit is, but the damp end's obviously where he is. We both look out over a crowd of people. What seemed so ordinary when I first arrived is now broken up. People divided into pairs or smaller groups. And dear God, a woman is completely naked on a couch across the room. Completely 100% nude. That's normally what naked means. She's draped over a man's lap. His hands on her breasts. Another is working between her splayed legs. Okay. Are you reading this? Well, I'm reading it, obviously. But as far as I'm concerned, he's got 3 arms. So she's draped over a man's lap. His hands on her breasts. So both hands are on either boob. Another is working between her splayed legs. So the other one is rubbing her off. But that means... That would mean... Anyway, I swallow at the sight. Swallow at the sight? What is she swallowing? Performers too? I doubt it, he murmurs. They just got inspired. Perhaps my silence says it all, because he laughs quietly, stretching out long legs in front of him. I have to say, gorgeous, but you have me curious. Curious? Yes, how did a woman like you end up with an invite to the Gilded Room? I frown. A woman like me? So clearly straight-laced, he says, meeting me with a gaze with one of his own. Oh, sorry, meeting my gaze with one of his own. Ah, we love meeting gazes. But like small deer, they gaze, aren't they? They just, they obviously they've obviously been given a gaze when they've not talked about the gazes. The gazes, they obviously live in the local village. The gazes, lovely people, lovely couple, and they've got 3 kids. But that's another story. I've lost up. Someone who loves being in control, who fears letting go. I don't fear letting go. He raises an eyebrow. Shit! Whose eyebrows is he raising? Has he just leant over and raised her? I blow out a breath. All right, I do, but I'm sure everyone does in some degree. Oh, I'm locked in. Do you think it's holding me back here tonight? I don't know. Do you think it is? I'm not sure, I say. So far, I'm watching a performance of live sex, well, almost sex, while having a conversation with a perfect stranger. I say I'm letting go already. His smile flashes. His smile flashes. It's not an almost sex anymore. I look at the stage, and then quickly away, my gaze settling back on his face. His smile widens at my expression. I'm not shocked. I protest. Sure you're not. Not straight-laced at all. Then look, he challenges. So I do. I turn, fall towards the stage, to where one of the women is riding the man handcuffed to the chair. The look of pleasure on his face makes it clear he bears the weight of restraint gladly. The pounding of my blood raises as I watch them. The silky movement of her hips and the gaze of his eyes, the way they revel in us observing them. Okay, I murmur. I get it. The appeal? Yes. His deep laughter rolls over my skin like soft thunder. Oh, we've got some deep laughter. Ho, 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 ho. Like Father Christmas. Ho, 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 ho. Rolling over my skin like soft thunder. I've never really thought of thunder having a soft or a hard. The only thing I have on thunder is that it was involved with electricity. So I would have thought it was more prickly than anything. But okay. Not so opposed to being a voyeur, after all. I suppose it has its appeal. I wet my lips and dragged my gaze from the stage to him. You know, I think anonymity does too. It certainly does, he agrees. Even if you know someone inside of here, you're not allowed to acknowledge it. Oh, there we go. Oh, no, plenty of time, yeah. My eyebrows raise. Oh, she's raising her eyebrows. Let's say I knew your name. I wouldn't be allowed to call you by it. No, some people do break that, though. The couples who come here must. They're the worst offenders. He tips his head back and drains the last amber liquid in his glass. A thick watch on his wrist. It looks expensive. Yes, because thick watches look expensive. That's the general rule of a thick watch. The thicker the watch, the more expensive. You want to watch at least a good 50 mil deep, I would say. If your watch isn't 50, you're not looking expensive. If you could get one, probably the same size as a can of beans. That's all I'm saying. That thickness, phew, there's a man with an expensive watch. But you're not here with someone. I'm not, he confirms, reaching past me to set down his glass. The movement brings with it a scent of whiskey and sandalwood. Nor are you. How are you sure? I doubt a partner of yours would leave you alone this long. Unless they've run off and fucking someone else. Well, I doubt I'd have a partner who put so little faith in me, but he had to watch me constantly. His eyes spark. Oh, that's not what I meant. No, he wouldn't be able to stay away from the trouble you might be getting into. I glanced down into my champagne glass and away from the force of his gaze. You're good at this. At complimenting a woman, he snorts. Snorts. Nice. But I think it's more at himself than me. I try my best. I tilt my head and observe him. Here in the dark alcove, with the incense of the party mixing with heady intimacy, I feel like I could ask him anything. What do you usually do at these parties? Searching for inspiration. Searching for inspiration. Perhaps I want to know who I'm dealing with, I murmur. He leans back on the sofa, pulling his shoulders back. What happens at these parties? Don't leave them. Well, we're at a gilded room party, I say. So talking about past exploits wouldn't break that rule. His lips curved, an acknowledgement of the loophole. You know, I keep trying to figure out if you've got into the gilded room because of your brains or your beauty. And it's damn difficult to decide. It has to be one or the other. He sweeps an arm at the party. Most people here pay for membership, men more often than women. After they've been approved by a selection committee, there are always a few women who don't, and who are granted membership solely on their looks. That seems sexist. He laughs. The hand behind me brushes the bare skin of my shoulder. So you're not one of those women. You could be, though. Dum, dum, dum. I frown at him, which only makes him grin wider. So, I'm one of the women who could have benefited from a loophole that is in and of itself pretty sexist. I've never claimed my compliments were politically correct. It was so boring. It was looking so good, this book, but oh. No, you didn't, ignoring the nerves resurfacing. I slip out of my heels and pull my legs up onto the sofa. I'm sorry, but I'm just trying to work out if the legs are still attached or not, because there's lots of body parts just lying around in this place, and someone running around raising people's eyebrows. His fingers don't leave my shoulder. I saw you speaking to a woman earlier. You've been approached by someone. Several someones, he acknowledges. But you already smiled at me from across the room. I told them I was called for. The nerves ranch up a notch. Oh, was I that intriguing? I've never seen you before. Right, I suppose it's time to go. This is so boring, but I'm literally scanning, trying to look. No, we got 3 more pages to get to before it actually gets interesting. And I don't believe we're on page 379 of 531, to be honest. Can't have read 379 pages of this rubbish. Anyway, I feel gutted today. It's kind of like a bit of a rubbish read with some random body parts lying around. But I'm really intrigued. I really want to go to a party where someone just raises people's eyebrows. But anyway, I better go. I better go and do work. I better go and try and be happy. Very difficult for me, but I'll give it a go. And I will see you all later. All the runners are back, so I definitely have to go, because I was meant to be in before they come back, because that means I'm running late. Right, well, anyway, toodle pip. Have a nice one. See you again.